I don't know.
I know, like nonstop, deal after deal are there for you guys. If it ain't deal after deal, it's like putting out fires and just making things happen.
Finally started marketing, found a good niche, digital marketing, and I've been putting deals under contract and closing. It's been good. And the one that we just closed was one that I've been working with Orange for, I mean, almost 6 months.
6 months. I wanna say, I think
Well,
I
it was
remember, like, right when
complicated.
it started because he kept coming on the group and was, like, asking different questions. We're like, "Wait a minute, okay, wait, this is the deal with Robert. Okay, let's bring in William. Okay," and then it was, like, weeks later, it's like, "Okay, what's another update?" So I know it's been going on and on forever.
So it was probate.
Yep.
Then we had to get there were two heirs in there's two heirs in Mexico and getting the sister to sign, and that took 3 months. Then finally, when we're ready, title tells us, listen, these guys flying in, and one of the brothers is very sick. And I was like, no. So they're like, well, how are we going to do this? You're going to have to get power of attorneys over to them. So 50 days ago, 50 days ago, I sent them the power of attorneys, knowing that Mexico could be a
Sure.
problem. They couldn't get them signed. No notary would sign them
Why?
because so notaries are not like here. Notaries are appointed by the governor of your state in Mexico, and
I
so it's a racket. So you go, you make an appointment, you prepay, and then you get there, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? This comma's out of place. Come back tomorrow," and you got to pay again. So they did that like 5 times to him, and I was like, "Listen, guys, they're taking you for a
Yep,
ride. Find another
yep.
notary." The problem is they're all like that. So basically, last week I said, "Fuck, I'm going to fly you guys to a border town near Texas. I'm going to hire somebody in Texas to drive
Yep.
over a bridge and meet you in the customs area, notarize it, run back, scan it, send it." This happened the day before closing. Closing got delayed once
Yep,
because they couldn't get them signed.
yep.
And then I came up with that. I found somebody who would play ball with me in Texas. And the guy literally went into Mexico, met them in this customs holding area, got everything signed, ran back, scanned it, sent it. We got it
Dude,
closed.
that's a true baller right there. I mean, dude, if I
Yeah.
could have a bell or something to start ringing right now, that is the winner right there. I mean, at least it
Yeah.
saves
It
you a
was a
little
pain in
bit
the
too,
ass.
just having to kinda come across the border or meet right there. Um, so that was a really, really, really wise decision on that one. I know at that time, it's like, you gotta be creative and you just gotta come up with whatever works
Oh
at
man,
that
I
point in
wasn't going to
time.
let it go. I was like, working on this for 5 months. I am not going to die on the beach. You know what I mean? I swam all the way.
You're like, "Get me in a raft, I don't care, I'm getting over there."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was one, and we closed one on Tuesday. We closed that one on Friday. I've got another closing happening tomorrow. So things are getting busy,
Yeah. Well,
you
once
know?
you keep that pipeline full, now all of a sudden now they're gonna start closing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And well, first batch, I had like 10 deals, no, 9 deals on the board, one dropped off, but all nine are going to closing.
Dang.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
y
I'm working a couple of deals with
yeah.
William, some short sales, and I think one of those should be closing soon.
He's doing really well. I know he and I are talking quite a bit, especially with his, REI for, real estate. And well, I guess it's, what does he call it? It's,
IPA for
IPA
our
for
guy.
REI. Yeah. I don't know why. I just like mixing those two up. So yeah, he's definitely doing really well with that. He hasn't, blasted it out to a bunch of people yet. But those who, are in the inner circle, like yourself and kind of working with him, there's going to be some badass deals coming up. I mean, this is the time
Yeah.
right now for short sales and foreclosures. Like it's just running rampant. So you're
Yeah,
obviously
that's why I did it. That's why I did it, because, I mean, I was like, "You know what? I know what's coming down the line here, and after June, I think it's gonna get funky, so
Mhm.
might as well learn now."
Right. Yeah. So true. So out of those
And
nine,
I
you
just
said, well, one of them dropped off. How many of those are short sale deals?
so right now I've got 2 active short sales. I've got one that I'm trying to lock up today, which might be a sub two. And so, most everything that I'm dealing with are people that are behind on their payments. Um, but some people just want to, do sub two. So then I kind of have to figure out a way to make it work. Another exit.
For
But
sure.
I'm trying to run everything by him that's, in his niche, just to get it, a view from a different
For
lens.
sure.
And then I think I'm gonna go see him before boardroom, early April.
So
I've been up there a few
is
times.
that your, target niche right now and you're marketing specifically for that, or that's just what's been happening?
No, you know what? It's crazy. It's just like 80% of everybody contacting
Wow.
me, they're behind on their payments.
And what type of marketing are you doing right now to be getting those leads?
Right? The only thing I'm doing is I'm doing Facebook ads. I'm running them statewide in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
Okay. So
And every deal I've gotten has been Georgia and Alabama. Florida, people are still crazy. They want, $20,000 over what the house is worth. So I think I might actually turn Florida off for a while.
yeah, I mean, you gotta go where the leads are coming from that actually makes
Yeah.
sense, right? So it's like you
Yeah.
could
Yeah. Yeah.
literally yeah, so okay, so maybe you miss 1 or 2 Florida leads, right? But you pick up 5 or 6 in Alabama or, or Georgia, for the same price that you're already spending in Florida, so it's like a no-brainer that you wouldn't do that. But it just takes a little bit of time for you to kinda really figure out your marketing and everything, dial it in.
Yeah, it has. And I haven't turned it off. It just right now marks month four
Okay.
of the ads running. So I said, you know what, let's give it a quarter. Let's take a look at it. And then they're telling me, listen, the algorithm's working really well for your ads. We're trying to mirror your stuff with other
Yeah.
people. I hired an agency to do it. And I'm happy with Georgia and Alabama now. So I mean, I might do some stuff more along the lines of what William does with his
Yeah.
marketing, but in Florida, in my local market, because he doesn't spend a whole lot of money in marketing. And I'm not spending a lot. I'm spending like 2 grand,
Yeah,
$2 grand a month.
that's nothing
Bad at
compared to
all.
what you're getting out of it right now.
Oh no, my God.
Damn.
But the agency cost me $7,500 every 4 months. So,
Who are you using? That's still really good though.
yeah, they're called Hessel Media.
Hassel or Hessel?
Hessel, HSEL.
Okay. Never heard of of 'em before.
Yeah, they're good for Facebook ads. I mean, they're great in the beginning. They're like really hands on, and then at about day 60, you call and it's like crickets, and then you got to really follow up to get a call. But they got a good account manager on there. I'm happy. So
Good. Good, good, good. And they'll take care of any state wherever you want, I'm assuming, right?
they can run nationwide if I wanted to. I was like, listen, I just want to start here, and then if this works, then we'll add a state or two, take one off maybe. And so I wanted to just figure out what was what in the beginning before I started going nuts. And
But you gotta have a grasp on it.
now,
Otherwise, you're just gonna lose control over everything if you don't have a little grasp on it.
yeah, and I'm at the point where right now I'm doing deals and I'm doing everything by myself just because I have a partner. He's totally hands off. He's also my private money lender, but he wants to step away from his business. So I brought him on board and we kind of decided to let's bring a bunch of cash in before we decide to start going to other marketing channels or other states. And so, right now we're sort of in that deciding phase as to what we're going to do.
Oh, man, that's killer. Well, congrats for both, him and you, of course. That's awesome.
Yeah, we got to bring some people on because doing everything by myself, I'm crazy.
Been there, done that, but hey, at least,
Yeah.
again, you're taking the steps to really understand what it is that you're doing, and the things that you aren't good at, or you could be better at, or whatever it is, or you need to delegate. So at least you're doing that versus a lot of people are just like straight up, I've never done it before, don't know how to do it, but I don't want to do it, so I'm just gonna pitch it out there and let someone else do it. But then they don't know how to monitor it, they don't know how to pay attention to it, and then like see what the other person's doing, and then offer any kind of advice. They're just like, "Here, let me just pay you every month to sit back, and then you're supposed to do it." But a lot of these companies, especially folks, marketing companies and everything, they may not know your specific niche, so they have to understand your keywords, who they're working with, and unfortunately, they don't. And a lot of these wholesalers just jump in and just start spending money and then piss away money and then get mad at the company. And it's really their fault as the leader that you should really already have a grasp on what you're doing before you go hire somebody. So kudos to you for already
Yeah.
kind of going through the headaches to know what you don't want to do or what you need to delegate.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've got a laundry list of stuff I do not wanna do going forward.
It takes time though, man. But you guys have been doing a
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful job ever since you first started with this. It's been great for you guys just to see what you're doing. And now it's really paying off. So congrats on that one. Do you guys
Yeah.
already have like a goal per month of leads or deals closed or profit that you're kind of looking at?
So, you know, at first, if you asked me back in November when I started, I would have told you, okay, by month 4, we've gotten, 2 deals under
Right.
contract that are gonna close, 2 deals that we contract and will close every month. Bro, I had 10 deals under contract in literally 5 weeks.
Hallelujah.
And I was like, "Oh my god." Now and then I started obviously dealing with all the sellers and title and the attorneys and the handyman and all that bullshit. On the front end, I started hurting a little bit
Yep.
and my follow-up started to suck.
Yep.
And so then I started juggling balls and like, "All right, so which whack-a-mole, what do I do today?" And I would deal with the sellers, but then the follow-up would suffer. So, I think pace that we're on now, we're gonna do we're gonna do over, I think, 60 this month. If you had told me I was gonna do 20 the first 4 months of trying something new, I'd have been like, "You know what? That's pretty damn good."
Yeah.
You know, and, now things have changed, and I've gotta keep on filling the pipeline on the front end. So, the deal sizes have varied,
Oh
I
yeah.
found. It doesn't really. So I've got deals that, I just made, like, 17,000 on Tuesday, and then the deal with Allrints was, a juicy deal. I think Allrints made like 17,000, and I had to cover some expenses out of pocket that I missed. So I made like 22, 23, and then there's one closing on Wednesday. I should make like 12 or 14. And then the short sale with William, those should be juicy. Those should be 40, $50,000 deals. Then I've got another one that should be a 50, $60,000
Yep.
deal. And, there's another one that could be $100,000 deal and a skinny one. So I can't tell you yet what my average is because it's too early on,
Yes.
but I would say it's definitely north of 20
Yeah.
average.
And that's what we call that
Um,
doesn't suck. That's for sure right there.
no, 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 I'm very happy with, and the good thing is I'm on the phone and I know what kind of deal it is, like pretty much within the first 5 minutes. And then if I have any questions, I just give William a call and he tells me, take a look at it this way or not. But I think if we can stay north of 50 consistently for the next quarter, um, that will allow us to figure out exactly where we want to turn things on, turn things off from a marketing
Yep.
standpoint and who we want to bring. Definitely got to bring a lead manager
Oh
on.
yeah. Clearly
That's
with the
that's the
volume you've
first
got going on right now, you absolutely are going to have.
that's the first thing I'm going to do is bring a lead manager on. And there's a company that's been harassing me, but I went down a social media rabbit hole and clicked
I
on
was just
some
going to say, I bet
clicked
you
on
did something like that.
and the guy, where did you find us? I was like, dude, I don't know. It must have been like 2 a.m. and I'm speaking to you now. I don't remember. And now the guy won't stop calling me. And his name is James Hodges. He's some wholesaler that helps people build businesses and whatnot. And they do an audit of the business and whatever. I don't know if I want to spend the money on that, but I definitely need help with that part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now we're at the point where I don't want to grab the cash that we have and in the process of scaling, start making mistakes and then throwing money
I
away.
mean, so yeah, you might make a few mistakes, but I mean, at the same time, it's like one of those scenarios where you need that person, and hopefully you do all the right work ahead of time and figure out the right person that is going to stick with you, right? But if they don't, lesson learned, you're going to learn along the way. But let's say that you find somebody that's still 70, 80% as good as you are right now. You've got so many other things on your plate. You're already slacking. And I don't really want to use the word slacking, but you're already messing up a percentage of the time. And so let's just call that the 80/20. Let's say that now, because you're so busy, where now you're only able to do 80% of what the lead manager should do. Well, if that person is only 80% as good as you are anyway, then guess what? You're getting the same shit done, but now not having to do any of the work yourself. You just got to go ahead and pay for it a little bit. So even if you don't find somebody as great as you, good luck, because a lot of times you're not going to. So, hopefully you can find somebody better. That's really ultimately the goal, is to find somebody better than you. And that's how you're going to build the most amazing team. But first, starting out, as you go through some of those headaches, it is what it is, man. But it's also better now that you already know you're at that point and that level to do it. It's better to go ahead and jump on and start trying to find somebody as soon as you can, because again, you're going to just get so bombarded with everything else. And the second they free up some of your time, you, as most of us are with entrepreneurs, we're just going to go ahead and, with the extra time that we have, what are we going to do? We're going to utilize that time for something else in business, until we eventually get to the point where it's like, okay, now I can step back and start enjoying life. But in the meantime, you're really building that solid business. So that's something that I would start trying to make a lot of videos like right now, every day, typical daily processes that you're having to do. I would start making Zoom videos, or Loom videos. I apologize. Loom videos of all of your steps, man. You're already having to do it. And so instead of, you normally, your mouth is just shut, you're just doing everything because you know how to do it. But now, while you're doing it on your screen, one of your next deals, just start talking out loud as your mouse moves across your screen. This is why I go here. This is what I do. Make those Loom videos. And then by the time you're ready to start hiring somebody, you've already got basically your full training video already set up. And then it's more of, all you have to do is get them in there, watch all these videos, and then monitor them for a few weeks, couple months, that they're doing all of your processes. If they have any questions and you already know you've made the video for it, don't answer the question. Make them go back to the video and then make them do the actual steps and record a Loom video for you. So that way you can see and hear in their mind what they're doing and what they're thinking. That way you can kind of correct, because a lot of times you and I are used to doing the same thing. And sometimes we're doing things and don't even say what or why we do it, because we know what we're doing. We do it every day. And so if we miss something on a video, you'll catch it. You'll catch that we made a mistake on a video. And then that's whenever you'll just have to kind of make a little updated. Don't have to make the entire video. You could just make like an addition, kind of like an, an addendum or whatnot to the existing video. And then that way you just correct
See,
that for your guy or gal. And then if they ever dip out or something happens with that relationship, then hey, guess what? The next person that goes in the place now has all the updated videos and everything. And it just saves you so much time. It really does.
yeah, I did that with a VA that I hired. I did a series of Loom
Sweet.
videos, and but it was for texting campaign. But I love Loom, and I use it quite often. I might do that actually.
It's, man, especially for a lead manager. And you want to find somebody who really jives with with your company's culture. Because you can just go out there and hire any of these other companies that might do it. Not to say that they're not good. I'm not saying that at all. They might really be great at what they do. But at the same time, it's almost like, how much other business are they also having to do along with your company too? And then, is there any kind of information that's being shared? Those are the things that I'd be a little leery about, some of these hotel kind of companies that are offering their own lead managers and what. Again, who knows? Maybe with enough research, maybe you could find the right one.
Yeah, I've actually identified a company that I, I'm pretty sure the guy who owns Hustle Media's got something to do with
Okay.
it. What they do is they recruit people in Latin America
Hmm.
who have excellent English, and they're sort of on our same time zone, because when I hired the VA, she was from the
Right.
Philippines, and I found that after 2 p.m., she was a zombie. And I could tell from her text messages that she was a zombie. So I can only imagine what she was like on the phone. So the fact that they're here and train in real
Yeah.
estate and speak very good English, might be a good fit, and it's cheap, for lead manager. I think it was like $5 to $7 an
That's
hour.
about right. My absolute amazing, which you've already talked with Michelle, Michelle Malavasi. She is over in Colombia. I actually initially were looking over in Costa Rica. You pay a little bit more, but I was looking at Costa Rica because I wanted very fluent English, and again, pretty much the same time zone. Um,
Mhm.
and so this was something that I had posted on Craigslist in Costa Rica. Just had a VPN,
Yeah.
and then through my VPN, just went onto their Craigslist so that way I could put my ad on there. And she ended up calling me, but by that time, she was now living in Colombia. So that's the reason why I've got an amazing assistant from Colombia.
Oh, okay.
And I pay her her weekly salary. She's just on a weekly salary. And then, of course, I also give her additional bonuses if she's able to go out and find her own marketing and stuff. And that's not been her main. I mean, I guess as far as extra side hustle of trying to get additional leads, and she doesn't really care too much about that. She's perfectly fine with being the assistant, doing what she knows she loves doing. And so, hey, at least I
Jeez.
give her the opportunity to make additional money if she wants to, but she's on a very good salary and it's awesome for us. I mean, we're not paying that much. I think I pay her 250 $250 a week. And so for
Okay.
Colombia pesos, and as the rates changed lately, it's been even better for her. So
100%.
it's an amazing living for them, and it's super helpful for us. And then, like you said, I think she's an hour back, so she's on Central Time. So for
Right.
most people, even if it's an hour away,
Yeah,
it's
it
not going to
works.
hurt you over here on the East Coast.
No, it works. I'm thinking of doing that. I think my lead manager will be from Costa Rica or Colombia, or they said Argentina
Yeah,
maybe. Um, one of those countries. I think I'm gonna do that first because that's in the pipeline. That's where things are bottling up right now. I actually have 5 leads that just came in
yeah.
yesterday that
Mhm.
I had, like, just, "I'll call you back tomorrow." I had a 30-second call with them, and I'm like, "Listen, I can't right now." And, I gotta call all those people back today, but that's definitely where I'm hurting.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And like you said, by then, if they're that desperate, if it's going to be that, maybe not necessarily that good of a deal, but if they're desperate and they're ready to go, they're already on the phone calling the next wholesale company. And so
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
know.
that's the sucky part. Like you said, is like, yeah, most likely that's not
I
the
know.
case, but it does happen. And for all you know, that could be 40 grand gone right there just by not having somebody else who
Yeah,
can pick up the phone and talk to them.
I know. So that's why one of the things I have been doing is, most of my deals that are aside from the short sales are like novations.
Yeah,
So my offers are always better than what the wholesalers are offering.
dude, that's killer.
Yeah. So I'm getting a lot more deals in.
Yep. 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 You know how to do it, man. You've got that niche. So
Yeah.
well, man, I don't want to keep up too much of your time. So while I got you here, I definitely want to kind of talk to you a little bit about um, outside of course, us already knowing each other a little bit before. But I just want to kind of talk to you a little bit more and see how you thought our process was here at Wholesalers Transactional Funding, especially once you talk with Michelle. And I know it's been a little bit of time here. We're trying to get this deal closed out, but I'd love to kind of hear your experience just from a third party.
Well, I knew, from the beginning, once so this deal was going to be an assignment, but the nature of the people that I had to sign on the seller
Yeah.
side, I was like, Alrens, if these people see that HUD and they don't understand what's going on, we might lose the
Sure.
deal. So we're going to double close
Yeah.
this. And I already knew you. So I was like, I know that part's going to be, we don't have to worry about who we're dealing with. We're dealing with Jesse, so I can sleep at night. We're fine. And literally, that deal was a shit show. And dealing with you guys was the easiest part. So I'm really happy about that. Thank you very much for making, like, I didn't speak. I exchanged a couple of messages on Discord, and then Michelle, I think, took care of the rest.
Yeah.
And that was it. Really, it was really, really easy. It was a breeze, and everything went down great behind the scenes. I didn't have to get involved other than tell title we're dealing with this company. He's the owner. Reach out to them, or they'll reach out to you, and just let me know if anything's going wrong,
Right.
because
Exactly.
there's everything else is going wrong with the deal.
Yeah.
you know?
Mm. Now
Call me on only if you need to.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's what we try to tell everybody too is like, look, coming from a wholesaler background and then mentoring and stuff as well, it's like I totally get what wholesalers are having to go through. Like 100% get it. And the last thing we want to have to do is worry about, hey, is the money going to be there at closing? Like again, for you, you've already been dealing with this shit for 5 or 6 months. The last thing you want to have to do is worry about, oh my God, is the money actually going to be there? So we try to tell everybody, look, there's a lot of emails going back and forth behind the scenes, as you already know. This isn't anything new to you. And so, hey, all we want to do is we want to try to keep the wholesaler out of it. As far as anything on the financing side of it, keep everybody out. Title, how's that going? Keep everybody out. Let's just go ahead and just get everything taken care of, all of our loan docs, everything else between the title company or closing attorneys, get it all taken care of there. That way, again, you guys right now, the last thing you need to be doing is worrying about this because you've got 5 or 6 leads sitting there right now waiting on you. You don't need to be worried
Right, right,
about
right,
is this one going to close?
right. Yeah. And that really was, I mean, I know that, you know, you guys do a great job and you make it obviously you make it a point to not have to bring people in and you're
Right,
dealing with title directly, but it's huge, man, because I've got another deal that I'm closing next week. And this one, we're actually going to fund it. We're taking out some short-term
right.
funding and we're going to put in like 20 grand, but then the spread when we sell it's going to be huge. But I've never dealt with that company.
Mm,
And they were recommended to me and, they seem like they're okay. Their website looks nice, but you get thoughts in the back of your
sure.
head. Are these guys going to be there when we close? Is everything going to go down right? And I don't need those type of
Yeah.
things. You know what I mean? And when I was dealing with you guys, I was like, I don't have to worry about that shit at all. I know Jesse's going to perform and everything's going to happen on time. And that's a big weight off your
Yeah.
shoulders when you're thinking about 15,000 things. Getting the deal funded is huge, and knowing that it's actually going to happen on time and right, it's it's gold.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Well, congrats for you guys for finally getting to the closing table and making this
Yeah,
happen. I know you've had plenty of sleepless nights, but super sick that we finally got this one closed out for you, Robert.
yeah. Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah, man,
Appreciate it.
absolutely. So, what are some of uh, what are some of your goals now? I mean, I already know I talked to you a little bit about what you kind of had in the pipeline, but have you even had any kind of time to kind of think about some goals and stuff now? Except for, of course, you want to have your lead manager in there.
Yeah, I think for the next quarter, I've always I work in quarters, so for the next quarter, if we can consistently hit net, this is net. If we can net 50 grand, I think that would be
Mhm.
good. And then once we do two of those, then obviously the next step would be to do 100.
Yeah.
You know, and then just take it step by step. And I know that the market is shifting and a lot of stuff is getting weird and buyers are drying up left and right. But, I think the opportunity is going to be there in the summer and after for the next 18
Oh,
months.
yeah. It's not go real estate doesn't go anywhere, you know what I mean? There's always gonna be some
Yeah.
buyers. So speaking of that,
Yeah.
talking about buyers, and then I know I love having these conversations. I'll let you get back to making those calls. But as far as some of your buyers, do you already have your buyer first? Do you already have some people in mind, or are you pushing it out there via text, email? What are you normally doing right now for your people?
So interestingly, given the nature of the campaign that we're
Okay.
running, the running statewide, I never know in what part of the state deal is going to land. And, I'm going to put under contract. So literally I don't have statewide buyers. So in the beginning, what I did was once I get something under contract, I'm immediately going and speaking to the top 3 to 4 realtors in terms of sales activity in that pocket.
Right.
And I develop a relationship with them and I end up picking one to be the one that's going to help me with the novation. And I have that person be my boots on the ground. And I go, listen, I've got a property under contract. I'm thinking of doing this and this and this. I want you to help me. I'm going to give you the deal, but I need you to go to the property, make sure it's not a
Yeah.
disaster. Give me your feedback as to what the repairs will be, and then tell me what you think you're going to be able to sell it. And I try and get at least two of them to go out there and do this and get numbers from them. And then I back that up with my research that I'm able to do online.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Okay. And then obviously, if it's a deal where, like we just had one now, where I said, listen, if you have a buyer that'll do an off market deal, you know, I'll still pay you your 3%. I've even paid 4% just to get the deal
Do that.
quick.
Why not?
Bring
Yeah.
me one of your buyers now, and we don't have to deal with the whole listing nightmare and wait 30, 40. And this person literally within 30 minutes took a buyer to the house and got the deal under contract, and we closed 8 days later. So I'm really leaning on the realtors just because I'm not, for example, in Alabama, I'm not marketing to Birmingham
Right. Right.
and then develop my buyers list around Birmingham. I'm getting deals all over the state of Alabama, all over the state of Georgia.